I like Christmas 2025. Hello everyone, Mr. Unscripted here, and it seems that it's become tradition that I speedrun a tower every time an event drops. I've done it for Halloween with Steeple of Moonlit Heresy, which I got 7 minutes. I've started doing it for the Christmas events, with Steeple of Triple Black Diamonds being under 6 minutes, which is one of my favorite steeples to ever speedrun. And then Steeple of Cycle I, which I've got a minute of under 2 minutes 30 seconds. Very good. And this time I decided that I wanted to speedrun another tower in the Christmas event. Now, normally if you notice, most of the towers that I usually do are the hardest ones in the event. So normally you might expect me to do Steeple of Below Zero, but this was not the tower that I decided to pick for the speedrun. And I have tried a bit of Steeple of Below Zero and tried to find skips, which I have found a few funny little skips. And a really cool one, but it ended up with me getting kicked, so I didn't choose Steeple of Below Zero. So how about Santa? Well, Santa has a lot of skips. In fact, in floor 1, there's a swing which you can literally skip all the way until the end of floor 3 or something. But that also results in a skip, and this is my one attempt doing it, skipless, and it's pretty alright. I could definitely do better, but I'm not interested in doing Santa. How about Steeple of the Christmas Spirit? I have also tried this, but I have not really found any interesting skips, and I got a time of under 12 minutes, which is very okay. There's also these two, but I'm also not very interested in any of these, and I've just kind of left them behind as they were. Instead, I decided to do the easiest steeple instead, Steeple of Sleep Eternally, because when I played Steeple of Sleep Eternally at first, with its mechanics of clicking and dragging and holding and stuff, I was interested to see how fast I could really do that while also managing my mouse controls, you know what I mean. What ended up though was me finding quite a lot of unintentional skips, a lot of major skips, in fact, that I'm surprised did not end up in me getting kicked. So instead of the normal speedrun videos that I usually do, I decided that I'm going to show you how to speedrun. I'm going to show you all the tricks that I found in Steeple of Sleep Eternally and how you could use that to probably best my time. So welcome to Steeple of Sleep Eternally. It is a very, very dark steeple. In fact, it's almost impossible to see sometimes, and it can get really confusing. But after playing it for so much, it's kind of become one of my favorite steeples. So as you can see there, I did a little minor skip over there. Well, there'll be a lot of minor skips that I found because floor 1 unfortunately does not really have that many major skips. There's only really one notable skip, and most of the other skips here are very, very basic, very minor skips. As you can see, I've practiced quite a lot and can do these things very fast. So here's the first skip that you can do. I noticed that these two platforms are separate. And normally, I expect these kinds of things to be just decorations. So there's one main big cylinder here, and that these two are just non-collision blocks, and there's a big steeple. But just by accident, I figured that you can wall jump this, and you can skip this little small section over here, which only saves maybe 10 seconds-ish. This is the first and only skip that I could really find here. And the same is going to apply for the next area, which unfortunately also has very little to no skips. So one of the major reasons why I want to discover skips is because of this. I do not like the blue gears. I don't understand how they work, and they are so strange and unintuitive, and that I wanted to find a way to skip the entirety of floor 2. And I almost did. I swear I almost did. But they actually made preventative measures which I was not expecting. So this is the first minor skip that you can do. You can actually jump over here instead of flicking the thing, but I prefer to flick it, even though it won't have enough power. But it helps to go this platform much faster rather than this thing being in a normal position and you just jump here, then come here. So this is where So this is where I almost found a skip. I realized that you can interact with this thing up here, but yeah, and you can even spin it. However, that is now locked in place. I don't know why I cannot pull it, but that is locked in place, and I cannot screw with it. Anymore, and it's just gonna be stuck there until you reach a certain point where it will unlock itself. So that means you have to do the outside, which I'm really upset about. So here's another minor skip. Originally, when I first found the skip, I just used this gear and you can climb on top of when you descend. But I realized that you can just climb the bookshelves, which is really funny, but it's also much faster. And this is why I wanted to skip most of the blue gears, because of this part. It is incredibly frustrating to spin this thing, because sometimes it can just spin the opposite way that you want it, or it just goes, or it just knows where it spins. I don't like this thing. That's all I want to say. I don't like this thing. It's so unintuitive. I hate it. But you have to kind of get used to it, because there's no other way to skip this part. So for this part, the range on this green block is really far, so you can just drag it here. This part also has a blue cog, but surprisingly, it's not as annoying to get through, and it's much more like lenient. I like to spin the gear not exactly at the yellow line, but just enough so that I can reach here, my jump, and so I can reach here as well. It's a little small skip that saves like a millisecond, but it works. So I can't really argue about that. For this part, you don't actually have to move the green block. You can kind of just flick here, or you can be a little more risky and do a jump like here. And that leads to here, which is the last blue cog. Wow, I just spin that early. Okay, wow. So that's what happened. Now we are going to probably one of my favorite parts of the speedrun, and that is the apartment. Now, normally I don't like the apartment because it also has a lot of really annoying blue parts. But I found a way to skip basically everything. Also, I can show you this, but you can long jump. You can high jump here if you're lucky enough. But I'm not going to show you the high jump because I'm on full screen. Alternatively, you can also wall hop this thing, as you can see like that, and you can use it to skip all the way to that platform over there, so like that. And it saves a little bit more time than going the normal path, but I recommend you just do the high jump if you're really good at it. And welcome to the hotel. As you can see, it's very clean and totally not in shambles. And here's our key to room 1, which you're supposed to do to unlock many other keys, but as I said, you can skip everything in this from a glitch that I didn't know was brought back. And if you didn't know, laugh clipping is back. And that means that you can go through an entire one-start block. Now, if you didn't know about laugh clips, they were patched back in very old, maybe 2019s, 2020s. And what it essentially did is that when you type in /laugh, the text just disappears. You can't laugh at all. But they brought it back, surprisingly. And I do not know why they brought it back. I think it's just because of the checkpoint system, so it is kind of redundant. But it does really help if you're stuck somewhere and you're it's a one-start wall. You can just laugh clip back. And I'm really happy to figure this out. Well, actually, my first time I figured it out was from a Tower of Infinity Gauntlet softlock escape. And I just decided to use it when the opportunity came. And I just clipped through one stud. It's amazing. Last clip is quite tricky, especially if you have like high FPS. So you kind of want to forcefully lag your PC or just make it go a bit slow so you can make it more easier, which as you can tell by my fluctuating FPS, like yes, it's very easy. But doing that will skip all of apartment if you don't want to do apartment. So that's a great skip. And the next skip in this part, well, first of all, you can still move in this cutscene. As you can see, I moved all the way here. When you're in a cutscene and you're holding W, you'll usually move all the way to this corner and get stuck. So when the camera pans to the door, you hold S and you can just continue moving. There's a little minor skip coming up. Right over here, you have enough range to click on this green block, so you can just pull it back and jump here, and woo, voila. So here's another minor skip you can do. You can, if you like maybe do like a high jump or like a flick here, you can reach the ladders up there. But I don't like doing this. It's not only this is quite RNG, it can end up taking more time, and it only saves like a very small amount of second. I just suggest bringing the box here and like just doing this. It's not much faster, not much slower, you know. And now we are coming up to my favorite part of the speedrun. And it's a little tricky, but it's very fun. So normally you will put these blue blocks here and you just go down here, go through that, go continue. But this box has a very interesting collision, and as you can see, like it makes this area by the box, so it like solid and you can't really walk through. So that's neat. And like you can't do this obviously. But if the ledge is small enough, you can just hop on with the box. And maybe some of you already figured this out, but what can I do with this box? Even if you jump, like you'll lose the box. So like surely that's not that much that you can do, right? And this is one of my favorite discoveries that I've managed to find. So you bring the box over here, and you can say hi to the real life realisty part as well. Hello. Because there's also another blue platform over here that I really hate, as you can see right over there. This is the most unintuitive blue brick platform running or whatever that I really hate, and I don't like to do this part. And I wanted to skip this part. And so luckily, I've managed to find a really funny skip that involves right over here. As you can see, this platform over here, you can kind of reach here, but you can't jump over here. You're missing the glitch is a little too high to even high jump. But I've got this idea, since now that I have the box here, I was gonna bring the box over here. But it seems really troublesome with how this is positioned. It's really hard to just do this. It's very difficult. But it is actually very possible, and it's actually pretty easy if you get it done. So I'll just climb all the way back out here first. And I'll show you how I do this skip. Actually, also, if you're practicing this, I actually suggest that you get the button over there so that you can use this as a shortcut to go over here. And so first of all, you want to face back. And then when you move back, you want to keep moving. You want to make sure you still face this position. And when you reach by this ledge, you want to very quickly turn so that the box can hold you, because not only does this box allow you to have this kind of player collision, it allows you to hang off platforms. So what I essentially do was something like this. Boom. And you get to bring the box all over here and you get to jump up here. And that is the best skip I've ever found that skips like basically all of floor 5 and into this zone, where you kind of have to do it normally. I unfortunately couldn't really find a very good skip for this part. Now, you don't have to use the platforms. If you're really skilled enough, you can basically just swing around the platforms, but I don't think it's any like faster, so I recommend just like doing this and just like, going normally. Going out your days, you know what I mean? Now here's a really funny thing that I've also discovered. Much like floor 2 as well, there's that one spot that you can just reach and you can just touch it. And that is right over here. As you can see, my cursor allowed this to be grabbed. However, as you can also see, that's also put a preventative measure. So I cannot skip these all of floor 6 as well. I have to do it in order to unlock the lock that is locking this thing, which I assume is the push box. Here's another skip that you can do. If you don't want to go through this pathway, you can also high jump over here. To imitate, once you high jump up here, you can go here and you can just jump here, and that will probably save like a very small amount of time. Which I also don't think it's worth it because you have to do a very RNG dependent high jump. As for this, I don't think you can do this. I've tried doing this, but you don't have to do it. You can just kind of swing on the platform here and just drop it. And you go all the way here, and then you can finally spin the thing and unlock the gate, which you have to be really good at, or else you can't miss this really tiny green part. And that is it. You've now found the ability to speedrun Steeple or Sleep Eternally, as presented by me. Now, I don't know if there's any faster way to go through here. I kind of imagine that you can high jump here, but I don't want to do 2 high jumps in a row and possibly like lose all the time. So I kind of just take this like fast path right over here. And now, here's the big question. You skipped all of apartments, and you skipped basically all of floor 5. And probably a lot part of floor 6 as well. I don't know which parts of floor 5 or floor 6. You might imagine that this will probably kick me, much like every other tower that has done it before. And I thought so too. But you very much beat the entire tower while skipping all of apartments and all of floor 5. So yes, this is amazing. This is one of my favorite steeples to find and discover a lot of the tricks. It is extremely fun. Hello, Cubed. I didn't implement all the skips I figured. I've only discovered some only recently today. Especially the floor 8 skip, which, well, I did an alternative one because I did not expect me to just be able to clip into floor 8's room from a pretty bad failed amount of attempts of love clips. So, I have my time right now as 7 minutes and 10 seconds, which is one of the best times that I've managed to get with it. With the skips I've shown you, even a pretty mediocre-ish run will probably be able to reach 7 minutes, maybe even the under 6 minutes, which I'll probably do a run later that I'll try to go under 6 minutes. I challenge you to beat my time of 7 minutes and 10 seconds. It will probably not remain there, but this is the time I want you guys to try and beat. I don't have any awards, this is just for fun. And maybe this might encourage you to also do the stupid thing and just speedrun Events Tower for no reason at all. I'm not expecting that to happen, but it is surprisingly really fun, and it helped me gain more appreciation for Steeple or Sleep Eternally, even though it's a really good tower already in my opinion, and I really like the gimmick. And well, that's kind of all I really have today. As a bonus, I'm going to show you a really cool skip in Steeple Below Zero that I found on floor 3. What you want to do is you have to climb ladder here, and you go down, because if you stay on top, you'll probably collide with the platform and it'll just push it down, and you will basically die, as you can see. So when you climb down like this, you will just be grabbing just the edge here, and then now just break this thing. And you'll now be climbing the edge of this platform, and also have this still retained. Now you might expect this jump to be not enough to click this, but this thing is actually considerably lenient. And now you can just jump all the way here and skip the whole bottom part here. This is a really fun skip for me to find, and it's one of my favorites. And it's really the only skip that I could find, and I do not know if this is... I do not know if this skips a checkpoint though, so I cannot confirm whether you should use it or not. But yeah, this is a really fun skip that I found.